And boom. What is going on, everyone? Glad to see you all. Not even do these today. Oh. Can't even find my glasses. These ones I'm looking for? Probably not. Nope, not those either. What is going on, everyone? Good to see you. Greg, how's everything? Hey, Bobby. A Briggs relocated from my overpriced, overrated hometown of Boise to Spokane. Haven't looked back yet, huh? Is there that much of a difference, though? I mean, I would prefer to live in Spokane myself, but that's just me. Sorry. Camera's a little off. Give me a second, guys. Maybe that's a little bit better. All right. Let's get this going. Sorry, as usual, I'm unprepared. It's just what I do. It's my thing. Almost there, though. Why is that playing? That's not supposed to be playing right now. The hell? There we go. Sorry about that. I went to where my live stream was supposed to be, and it started showing me one of my videos. All right, now we're in action. Okay. You tell me about Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm moving there next week. Wilmington is not a bad place to live. What's that? Ooh, wrong one. Moving pretty fast already. Here we go. Can you tell me about Wilmington, North Carolina? I'm moving there next week. Wilmington's not that bad. It got a bad reputation. I think a lot of the people think it's bad because they're assuming it's Wilmington, Delaware. Yeah. You would be surprised how many people confuse places on the map, even their own country, the United States. So that one would not shock me. Wilmington's not that bad of a place. Is it the best place to live in the United States? No. Is it terrible? Some parts. Would I move there? Yeah, I wouldn't mind if I had to. Troy, my feel like tourists tried to get. You feel like the tourists tried to get away from. That's pretty funny. Can you make a best rural town in Ohio video? That's coming up. Don't forget to hit that like button, everyone. Here, I'll show you the little banner. All right. What do we got going on here? Whoop, whoop, whoop. I missed a whole bunch, guys, so I do apologize in advance right now. I'll catch back up, I promise. I hear 5-acre long home southwest area. Here in Edwards Air Force Base, now hating the weather in general. I miss Four Seasons. Yeah. Edwards is not a good place if you like seasons. Definitely not a good place if you like seasons. Hey, how are you? So you escaped, Dan, you escaped Austin, Texas. Where'd you move to? You live in Canada. And you're of Greek descent by your last name, I bet. Where do I think, Jim, is the best place to live in the United States? It's obviously a preference, but my favorite place, I love Oregon, the west part of Oregon. I don't like the east part. I love the trees. I love the cold. I love the rain. That's just my thing. I also like Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. Hey, Lexi, how are you? Here, you get a banner. Boom. Thanks for supporting the channel. Let me read your thing. Hey, Briggs almost made it all the way back to Iowa from Rocky Springs, Wyoming today. Yeah, I hope we're all safe for the 4th of July too. I hope you are. You're the ones got to drive on these roads. But thank you for supporting the channel as always, Lexi. Sunny Shine. Hi, Briggs. 100,000. Where can I go? I'm from Michigan looking for Mississippi, Arkansas, or Alabama. 100,000 goes a long way in Alabama or Mississippi, just about anywhere in the state. Obviously, if you get into some of the nicer cities like Huntsville, it's not going to go far. But if you get into the smaller towns, almost anywhere in Mississippi and Alabama, also, your $100,000 will go a long way. Arkansas, some parts, yeah, but the nice parts, no. New comments. All right. Boulder. This is Thursday. Did I say I was going to do this on Friday? No, it says Thursday. The Thursday live stream will be 8 p.m. West Coast time. So right now I'm in the middle of doing this thing. I'm working with a guy at YouTube. We're trying to do things that YouTube's trying to get us to do to help our channels grow. My channel's still growing pretty good. I wouldn't say it's stagnant, but I've never had that peak. So we're trying to do some different things. That's why we're doing the premieres. That's why we're doing the live stream on this channel for a while. We're going to see if it jumpstart anything. JG, fan of Sunshine's very happy to Southeast Arizona. You'll get plenty there, right? Hey, Timothy, how are you? What's up? Doom, hey, new country guy. So sorry about the coughing, guys. I have COVID, or I had COVID, but I got that lasting cough. I already talked to my doctor about it. And he said hopefully it'll go away in a month or two. Yeah, I'm one of them. So yeah, I got it. Let's get to that one. The new country guy, thank you for supporting the channel. It is always appreciated. Hi, Briggs. Been watching for a long time. Where would you relocate to if you were leaving California? Just curious. Cracking out of it. Thanks, Nick. I just talked to Nick this morning, actually. So where would I leave? Okay, so if I was in California right now, it would probably be maybe the same choices that I had when I left a few years ago. So I love Oregon. I just love the nature. I give a crap about the politics and all that stuff. I love the nature. I love the Pacific Northwest, but that's where I moved. I still feel strongly about moving to Colorado, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. But if I was moving from California and I really wanted to save some money, I'd move to Charleston, West Virginia. That's just what I do. But thank you for supporting the channel. I think Colorado Springs isn't as affordable as you would think it would be. I like Colorado Springs. It's not a bad place to live. It's a little more expensive, in my personal opinion, than I think it should be. Try North Texas. Yeah, North Texas or Huntsville, Alabama. Both, well, Huntsville can get a little expensive, but northern Texas, if you're looking for cheap land, it's pretty cheap up there. I'm in Pensacola, moving to Battleboro, Vermont. Your opinion on Battleboro and southern Vermont in general? I like southern Vermont. I like Virginia Beach a lot. Vermont, sorry, I said Virginia Beach. I like Vermont a lot. Especially like Burlington, that's nice. Just their rural is beautiful. Next to no crime. It's actually hard to find crime in Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire. So it's not a bad place to live. Can get a little expensive in some areas. If you can swing that, why not? And you got to be able to deal with a harsh winter. Can't believe I said Virginia. I see the V and instantly I go to Virginia. Oh well. Boom, here we go. Oh, I missed one. Sorry. Chris, thank you for supporting the channel, buddy. Hi, I'm doing my homework, visiting Plano, Texas today from San Diego. Not a bad choice. If you can, boots on the ground is the best final test about how you feel. So when you're there, A, go to a park, and this is how you judge if a town is decent. First of all, we know Plano is doing pretty good. It's an up and coming city, so most of their infrastructure is doing good. Go to a park on a Saturday and see how filled it is. That tells you if there's a good work life balance. Um, so obviously, if it's raining or 120-degree weather, you won't see that many people there. But on a normal day, check out the park, see how many people are there, how many families. If you have a lot of families and they're at the park, that means there's a good work life balance. That's a good idea. Also, if you drive down any street, you're going to see one or two homes that maybe have an overgrown lawn or something like that, and that's acceptable. That's normal. If you're on any block or street, both sides, average block, and there's like 5 or 6 with overgrown lawns and stuff like that, they got some problems in the town. So keep that in mind. That's how I usually judge it. And then I like to go see how friendly people are at the local pub, not like a Buffalo Wild Wings or anything like that, like a local place. Go see how friendly the people are. Don't tell them you're from California. They won't want you. But thank you for supporting the channel. Okay, I'm missing a bunch of these. Allen, Texas looks 110 acres, kiddos play. Yeah, there you go. You see, Texas is a great place to raise a family. Almost anywhere. You're gonna have some problems. Houston, I probably wouldn't advise it. But Laredo, El Paso, everyone, I've said this before, everyone seems to think that it's like this nightmare place because it's on the border. It's actually one of the safer cities in Texas. But if you watch the news long enough, they make it sound like any border town is just, the Wild West. You know what? I got to look at this one. I keep looking at the one on my. So I have software that runs this program and all the things I do. Well, it basically cuts out some of your questions, so it's hard to look at that sometimes. Caleb, how are you, buddy? Mr. James, Wilmington, North Carolina is great. Yes, it is. You're catching up. Aaron Bowman, love your videos in South Carolina. Greenville area. Greenville area is not bad. I have family that live in that area. Fountain Inn, in particular. It's not a bad place. I love their downtown. Greenville's downtown's kind of nice. I mean, the downtown. A little bit of the outskirts gets a little sketchy sometimes, but for the most part, it's nice. I gotta find a good balance. My Japanese wife, 7-year Down syndrome, life around the state. Yeah, that's you got some things you got to really look into. Especially my wife worked for the school district with autistic kids, and that's one thing. The first thing she tells everyone is make sure you get involved in all the different programs and make sure they have the different programs you need for a situation like that. Oh, you live in Quebec. Northern Idaho is good. I was just looking at a place that someone told me I should buy land from. Coolin, yeah. I was like, no, I don't think so. It looks nice. I mean, it's right on Priest Lake, but it gets a little too cold up there. I like Moscow. They say it weird out there. Not Moscow. Moscow. Vegas is a dump. Vegas is, I almost look at it as an amusement park. This is my own personal opinion. A lot of people love Vegas and the surrounding areas like Henderson and Paradise and all that stuff. I look at it like an amusement park, and I would never want to live in an amusement park myself. Biloxi, Mississippi is a nice place. I've been there many a times. Campete, live in Vegas. The place sucks. I miss your videos about towns to retire on SSI. Um, I got to revive some of those again soon. Did I miss one? Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. I missed one, Mohammed. Give me 1 second here. Let me find you. There we go. Nope, that's not it. I missed one. Let me read Mohammed. I can't put it up, but here we go. No, it actually just happened. Give me a second here. Here we go. Any suggestions on moving from New York City for blue collar workers to rent and later buy Iowa, Ohio, Oklahoma, Nevada are on your list? Okay, so I would choose Iowa over all of them. Oklahoma's decent. It's got some pretty good things about it. Iowa, yeah, okay, so here it is. Iowa's probably your best bet, especially if you want to buy a home later on. Ohio, you'd probably be able to buy a house a little bit cheaper, but if you're working blue collar, they don't have that many jobs. Oklahoma, there's a couple places, especially around Tulsa and Oklahoma City. If you work IT, they're moving in that direction, so you might want to go there. I would cut Nevada out of that list. That's my own personal opinion. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. There's your little thing. Woo-hoo. Now we got one more. I missed it. Here we go. Hello from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Let me get down to that so I could put it up. Josh Butler. Hello from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I spend 4 months a year planning to move and questioning life choices. Yeah, that happens when you're in the winter. The summers get here, and I remember why I love it here. Yeah, that's how it is in a lot of places. Minnesota, Wisconsin, North Dakota. You start questioning why the hell you live someplace like that. Summer rolls around, you're all, this is why I live someplace like this. And thank you for supporting the channel. Boom. Debbie, how are you? Sioux City, Iowa's good. I have a good friend, Kirk, lives there. Buddy from the Army. Hit that like button, everyone, please. What's my opinion on the new guy, the new country guy? What's my opinion on Florida? I'm not a fan. I don't like the heat. I don't like the humidity. I do like Tampa. Tampa's decent. Hurricanes I could do without. But I don't know. I don't like Florida too much. That's just my opinion. Yes, I love small towns. Very remote. Big boys here. There you go. Dale in Arizona. I'm also looking to retire next year and want a good lake to live by in the West. Detroit Lake used to be a great place to live until the fire. True. Detroit Lake used to be a really nice place. There's still a lot of really nice ones. In August, we plan on doing an update because we did one like 2 years ago, but an updated best lake towns to move to. So hold on for that. That'll probably be middle of August. Want to move, but just can't decide where. I like snow, but I don't want to commute. Can't take the heat, but need a swimming pool. Love the outdoors. Bears. Yeah, bears and cougars really put a damper on your morning. Oak Harbor is not a bad place to live. I've been up there several times and I like it. Bay St. Louis, past Christian, missing. Bay St. Louis is not bad. My personal opinion, I'd live in Biloxi first. They're right next to each other. Miss driving the Autobahn. So they're shutting down the Autobahn or they're doing away with it. My friend, well, actually one of our workers here, Ellie, who does a lot of our research, she just got back from there and they said they're getting rid of, I don't know if it's the whole Autobahn or sections or what they're doing, but it's not going to be what it used to be. What about Utah, new country guy? It's a nice place. Utah is one of those places a lot of people are moving to these days. Um, it's a desert state, but at the same time, it's not a desert state. It has a lot of nice areas where it's not desertish, but the desert areas kind of suck. Sarah Van Wyck, thank you very much for supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. No question. Just a buck. Thanks. Usually people ask a question. But there you go. Thanks for supporting the channel. Oh, here we go. What place in the West would you like until the snow falls? I'd like it if the snow fell anywhere. Um, but any city in the West, let's say, what city gets like Portland, even Seattle. When the snow falls there, they're not made for it. They're made for rain. So if the snow falls, the place falls apart. So I think that answers your question. Humboldt County versus Butte County. I think I messed up trying to answer your question. I like Humboldt County. It's not bad. Never lived in either of them, but I like Humboldt. There you go. I'm trying to decide on affordable living in California. You have to move by December. The more past San Francisco you get, or the more east of Riverside you get, it's going to get cheaper. So if you like to live in the desert, go to the eastern side of California. You'll find affordable living. If you like a little rain and a little cold, I would move above San Francisco, Eureka area, things like that. There's a couple places that I really like, especially towards the ocean. There's a lot of mountain towns that are like Willow Creek, McKinleyville, Hayfork, Weaverville. All those are really nice places, and they're in Northern California, all above San Francisco by a good clip. What's your opinion on Corvallis, Oregon? I live here and I love it. Every time I've been down there, I've enjoyed it. Their stats aren't terrible. Actually, I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're doing a lot better when it comes to the homeless than Portland or Eugene or Salem are. I don't know the stats on it, but I'm sure it is. Just going by and looking around. That, on the other hand, Portland right now is in the middle of cleaning up the homeless encampments. They're maybe a quarter of what they were a year ago of people living on the street, camps and stuff like that. I don't know where the people are going, but they're not on the streets in full-on tents or anything anymore. Bakersfield is cheap. I love Winco. First time I moved up to Oregon, we didn't have Wincos where I came from in Southern California, and I went into Winco and I'm buying my food, and no one's bagging it for me. And I'm all, should I just bag it since we don't have anyone? The girl goes, that's how it's done here. You bag your own groceries. I was like, oh, I had no idea. But she looked at me like I was a child and was like, that's how we do it here. Oh, here we go. The Valuer 99. Anyway, thank you for supporting the channel. Let's see what you got. Greetings from Virginia. I get it. The VA lover 99. Okay. What would you say the best, worst attributes of Washington State are? Love Washington State's geography, landscape. Okay. Like it is very similar to Virginia. So Washington has a lot of cool things. One, no state income tax. So you save a little money there without a question. It's beautiful. Outdoor activities for everyone, everywhere you go. It does have some areas you probably don't want to move to. And a lot of their rural areas are a little sketchy at best. Well, one thing I find unique is how many preppers you have living in the woods outside of Seattle. That's kind of strange. But if you go to Seattle, they do have a homeless situation. Tacoma does too, as does Vancouver, which is on the southern side by Portland. So you got some homeless issues that you might not find in Virginia. And that's a problem. With homelessness comes a lot of crime and a lot of other problems you have. So that's the big bummer about it. But you get to save some money in a lot of different ways. You buy a house, their property taxes are a little bit high. Got to make up for the no income tax. But if you're a renter, might be decent. Oh, and we got another one. And thank you for supporting the channel, VA Lover. Uh, best mid-sized city for young professionals. Solid question. I'm making a video on that right now. And that will be, we have it all researched. I haven't recorded it yet, but there are a lot of good places on that list. Give me about 2 weeks to get it up. That's Mile English. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Here you go. Boom. Thanks for supporting the channel. And there it's gone. That's for VA Lover. Good small town in Oregon if you have good remote IT job. There's a lot of them. Actually, next Friday, I am doing a great video on places that will pay you to move there as a remote worker. Towns that are offering, I mean, as high as like $16,000 to move there. And that's not just cold hard cash, but it's like, incentives and stuff like that. Some of them will just dump $5,000 on you to move there. So you'll see. Absolutely, VA Lover. Thank you, Macy. I love you back. That should be a good video. That's actually a sponsored video. I will give you information on a website that will help you with all that. What's your favorite East and West River south of Dakota? I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite river. I used to enjoy the Colorado River when I was a kid. Best places for those working in educational. It's a good question. We have one research. I haven't even looked at it, so I couldn't give you the information. But we are working on one for best place for teachers to move to. We had it already, and I did this one. I forget what it was. I think it was healthcare worker, best states for healthcare workers, and the video died. So, I mean, it did nothing. So, we're going to try it again with a different angle this time. And with teachers, what we're starting with. Ooh, how much does it cost to register a car in Washington? I don't know. Harper's Ferry is good for working in DC. Yeah, true. Telework. There's a lot of good places right now. And this is a weird shift. And we've kind of talked about it on this channel before. We have a weird shift in the country where people are moving and flooding out of these cities to smaller towns where it's cheaper because they could work remotely. I mean, I've said it before, Comcast, where I used to work up here, they used to have this 5-story building that was a call center, and their tech support and all that stuff was there. And then they realized they don't need it after the pandemic. So they got rid of that building and everyone works from home. I think everyone works from home. I think they have a small office building where they can have meetings and stuff like that. And that's about it. Adam, pay. Thanks for supporting the channel. No question. This guy again. The Maestro, sorry. Best rural town in Texas, small to mid-size. That, best small town, mid-size. Good question. I'm a big fan of Laredo. A lot of people aren't, but I like Laredo, Texas. They have a lot of different places in Texas that are a little out of the way. But sometimes, it's weird. Texas has two very distinct areas. You got the desertish side on the west and the northwest, and then you got that Louisiana swamp vibe east of Houston. It just depends on which area you like. Myself, I like a lot of the places in the Austin area, like Round Rock and stuff like that. But it depends on what you want. Do you want desert or do you want humid swamp like green? It's up to you. It's a rough one though. Oh, did I miss one? Would love your 10 cents on Delaware. Well, Delaware is pretty good, and I think it gets overlooked a lot. And I think a lot of that has to do with Wilmington. I missed another one. But Wilmington brings them down, but it's still a very beautiful state. And thank you for supporting the channel. Chris, people seem to group states by time zones. Okay. Why not? A video such as no-go cities need to address. Yeah. Don't need to reasons for tonight. So, one thing we are starting to look at and kind of start talking about it here is counties, because we've always focused on towns, cities, and the entire state. A lot of people really look at different counties in every state. That's not something we really did in the West Coast, so it never really was on my radar. But I have a lot of people asking about counties, so kind of like time zone could be done also. But yeah, eventually. Chris, thank you for supporting the channel. You want your banner? Here you go. Boom. Like I tell everyone every time they're on here, if you've been here before, sorry, I'm going to repeat myself. If I miss your question, I apologize. I try and get to all of them I can, but I do this by myself. I don't have anyone screening all my stuff, and I just don't feel the need to do that. But if I miss your question, I do apologize in advance. Maybe ask it a second time, third time. Hopefully, I'll get to it, okay? Thank you very much, Pacific Northwest Prepping. I appreciate that. Boom, here we go. Best Olympic Peninsula town or yeah, that could be good. I don't know. That could be a good video though. Do I like North Carolina? Oh, and Maestro, thank you very much. I appreciate you supporting the channel. Gypsy Rose, do you like North Carolina? I like North Carolina. Tomorrow's video is worst small towns or worst rural towns in North Carolina, but I do like North Carolina. Every place has good and every place has bad. Macy Anderson, thank you for supporting the channel. She's the big winner today so far. You even get little muscular Briggs up in the corner, switched by cool glasses. There you go. I appreciate that. Appreciate all your hard work on your videos. What's your favorite lake in the U.S.? Mine is Lake Tahoe, but you haven't experienced much. So Lake Tahoe is probably one of the best states, or one of the best lakes in the United States. That is one of my personal favorites. I've been to Lake Powell too. Lake Powell kind of sucks right now because it's kind of drained. It's really low. But if someone said, we're going to go visit a lake, which one do you want to go to? I would say Lake Tahoe. The winter, not so much. The summer, great. Just got to watch out for that nude beach, because nobody at that nude beach is really someone you want to look at. I didn't know that. My friends invited me there the first time I was there. They're, oh, let's go down this beach. I walk out there and there's a bunch of, I was like 25. There's a bunch of people in their 50s strutting their stuff. But Macy, thank you very much for supporting the channel. Here's your banner. Ready? Boom. Lake Superior, that's a big lake. Oh, so I made a total mistake, and it was years. So if you watch that video I did recently, I talked about Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin. And I always thought the song, the Edmund Fitzgerald, the record of Edmund Fitzgerald, one of the lines in there was, they would have made Whitefish Bay if they put 15 minutes behind you. My whole life, I thought that song came out in the 70s, was talking about Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin. I'm getting my things wrong here. Anyway, the one that's on Lake Michigan. I thought that's what we're talking about. Well, the Edmund Fitzgerald was sank in Lake Superior. I didn't realize there's actually a Whitefish Bay, not a town, on Lake Superior. Anyway, yeah, Totally confused. That was a poor explain. That was a really poor explanation. Sorry. The Upper Peninsula is pretty cool. Summer, the mosquitoes get harsh, but it's pretty cool. I like the Upper Peninsula. UPs, everyone calls it. Plano, Texas is nice. North Texas area. I have my daughter's best friend lives in Plano, and my high school girlfriend lives in Plano now. She wants to move though. Whitefish Point, yes. There's Whitefish Point, and then there's a bay there too. Briggs, what are your favorite cities in big cities in the United States? Chicago. I love Chicago. I love the food. I love the people. Sure, if you go south side Chicago, you could die, but I mean that's any place. You just have a higher chance there in the south side of Chicago. But I still love Chicago. Um, I love Denver. Other people say Denver's not that great. I think it's wonderful. I love Seattle, and Portland's a medium city. It's not a major city, but I love um, Portland, Oregon. I wish it was better now. When I first moved up here, it was really great. These days, downtown, it's getting better, but it has sucked for a few years now. Boom, we got another one. Who is it? Let's go down here. Randy Malin, thank you for supporting the channel. You're the winner for the night so far. Hello, looking to leave Shorewood to work from home, but in a small town. Looking at Almond and good. And Almond, Idaho is really good. Easter, Idaho. Easter, Idaho. Also Montana, South Dakota, Casper. Casper is a little light on entertainment, so you might want to watch out for that one. Did I get something right? Easter, Idaho? Okay, so I think you mistyped something. Let's see. So I don't think there's a place called Easter, Idaho. I think I missed something. Eastern Idaho. Okay, thank you very much. I was gonna say I didn't know there was a place called Easter, Idaho. Eastern Idaho is nice. It gets a little cold in most of the areas. I have a friend that lives near Idaho Falls, but now he lives in Butte actually. So he moved a little north. Um, his family owned a what do you call it? A mechanic shop near Newport Beach, California. And his grandfather owned it originally. Well, it's been passed down from his grandfather's dad, and he had it. Well, his grandfather still liked to work on cars, and he was, getting a little bit of the dementia thing going on. I think he was in his late 70s, and they finally decided he needed to change the scenery because it was a full blown business, and the grandpa would be working on a car. If it was hot, he had no problem stripping down and keep working. And they caught him doing it a few times. So I always thought that was a great story. They moved to Butte. What place in Oregon has rain and sun at the same time? That could happen any place here. I did. I missed super chat. Which one I missed? Oh, by the way, Randy, here's your comment. Thanks for supporting the channel. Let me see which one I missed. Randy, I got Randy. New guy. Okay, what's up with? Let me see. I'm sorry. What's up with the VA? You seem to fancy it a lot. West Virginia. West Virginia is a great place. It is inexpensive. The people are amazing, and it's beautiful. If you don't need a job there, probably one of the best options you have. Like if you're working remotely or you're retired, it's a really good place to live. Sure, don't get too far outside the cities there because it gets backwoods really quick. Most places, most cities, Los Angeles, Seattle, any place, you got about a 30-minute drive before it gets out into the wilderness. Charleston, West Virginia, you got about a 10-minute drive and it gets backwoods. Got to worry about a still, people running their moonshining operation, things like that. The new country guy, I really appreciate that. There is your thank you for the support. And we got another one. Let me go down here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Amanda Ray. Thank you for supporting the channel, Amanda. From the Bay Area, California, and would love to find a place where we can put down some roots. Open to anywhere. Thoughts on adjusting to snowy locations like upstate New York. So Upstate New York is a great area to live in. I mean, there's a lot of really beautiful places in upstate New York. If you can afford the Finger Lakes region, I would suggest that. Poughkeepsie, and Troy, New York, I really like, especially if you get into their suburbs. It does get really cold any place in upstate New York. Actually, any place in New York, the winters get pretty harsh sometimes. But if you were looking for someplace that's nice to raise a family, you can afford the Finger Lakes area, move there. Check out Troy, Poughkeepsie. There's a couple other places. But thank you for supporting the channel, Amanda. McLean, Virginia, Akron, Ohio. Akron is not terrible. It's getting better. It wasn't the best for a long time, but it's getting a lot better. Akron might be an option for a lot of people these days. Let's see what this one says. Is it possible for you to make a video about best off-the-grid, raw, unrestricted land? Move to California. So we've been working on one for a long time about homesteading. We did one kind of lightly, but the laws change a lot. So we're still trying to nail it down. And it's something we've been researching for like 4 months. So we will have an answer for you coming out soon. Erie, PA for snowfall. They got a lot. Wes Brown. Wes Brown is an Army friend of mine. We've been friends for a very long time. Just woke up, so you're on. Love you, brother. I'm going back to bed. Get up early and drive back to Florida. All right, Wes. Nice to see you again, buddy. It's really weird. So, if you guys don't know, if you've never been in the military, you have this strange connection with people that you've been through something, hard with. And Wes is one of them. I've known Wes a very long time. It's a good friend. Best rural town for the LGBT people. Good question. I don't have an answer for you. Wes, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate you, buddy. You're the winner for the evening. Love you, Wes. Get some sleep, buddy. Tesla has a gig factory in Sparks, Nevada. Yes, that opened last year, I believe. Thanks, Bill Lake. I think that's Balak. Bill Lake. Mr. Chess, are you a bot? Did I miss something, Mr. Chess? Best cities, 25-year-olds. I think we discussed that not too long ago. Yeah, I'd have to look in that one. I don't know offhand, but we are working on one for Generation Z. Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Okay, so that's a good one. I have heard Eureka Springs is a great place for the LGBT community. In my experience, and I don't know if this is stereotyping, but whenever there's a strong art community, it's usually a pretty good place for the LGBT community. So I'm sure that's some form of stereotype, and I hope I don't offend anyone by saying that, but it's just a fact. In my experience, if there's a good art type community, Austin, Portland, Eureka Springs, things like that, you're going to find very welcoming communities. Palm Springs, another one. I live in Mississippi and people are friendly. Which state has the most friendly people? The South is pretty good when it comes to friendly people. My personal experience, Wisconsin is probably one of the nicest. That's not in the South. The South is always, other than Florida, I think, you're always going to run into some of the nicest people. West Virginia is another one that's extremely nice. Anything west of Texas, people are usually a-holes. And I'm obviously broad brushing that. You're going to find wonderful people every place you go. But I just think California, even Oregon, you're going to have a better chance of running into a-holes. But I will tell you one thing. When I first moved up here, I had a lawnmower that was gas powered. And I would go to the gas station to try and fill it up with gas. And every time I did, someone thought I ran out of gas and they asked if I'd need a ride back to my car. It was so weird. I was like, no, I have to explain to them. In California, you could be bleeding to death at the gas station and people will drag you out of the way so they can park their car and get their gas. What do I think about North Carolina? North Carolina is a good place. I like Asheville. Charlotte's nice. It's a little too big for me. Not into that right now. Uh, but it's nice. The Outer Banks is beautiful. Minnesota is another place that has extremely nice people. Idaho, I haven't experienced that. They're nicer than other states myself. Um, but maybe. Recently moved from Detroit and just west of Cincinnati. Love the place. And yeah, Detroit is getting better. I was just reading a bunch of things and looking at the place. It's still got a long way to go before it's considered a really nice place, but it's getting better. Baltimore was a beautiful city at one time. Absolutely. Darth Gutierrez. Boom. Here we go. James, about to move to Pensacola, Florida for work. What are your thoughts on the area about first kids, my kids before moving there? So Pensacola is a lot different from most of Florida, and that's a good thing, especially if you want to raise a family. I like Pensacola. I've been there a few times. Sorry, one second. I don't like Panama City, which I've been there. It's just too touristy. Pensacola is nice. Elgin Air Force Base Eglin, I'm sorry, is right there. I've been well, I went stationed there. We did training there and went down to Pensacola, a couple other places. It's a nice area. I love Pensacola actually. As far as your kids go, though, that's a tough one. I don't know enough about Pensacola offhand to really tell you. But thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. Thoughts on Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia. So I love Charleston, South Carolina, and I love Savannah. Something about those two beach towns I just love. Charleston's a beautiful place. If you ever get a chance to go to Charleston, I mean, they've got a lot of history, a lot of older buildings. It's a beautiful southern town, and Savannah's the same freaking way. So, yeah, those ones to me it would be a toss up. Which one would I want to move to first? Over the other one, I should say. Which state at least each way? How's that is something I do not know. Boom, more comments. Thoughts on Miami? Uh, I like Miami. I like the food. I like the people. I liked it more when I was in my 20s and you know, looked a lot better in a pair of shorts and no shirt. But yeah, I like Miami. I'd never lived there. I'd love to visit Miami. I'm traveling to both in August. Glad it brings blessing. Well, I'm glad I gave you the blessing. You should. If you're talking about Savannah and Charleston, have a good time. If you move there to Charleston, I have a great realtor for you. So on my thing, I'm planning on doing shout outs for realtors when I talk about a city in the future. And I put it up on my community tab. I think I got 40 emails. So we're going to see how that one works out. Don't forget to hit that like button, everyone. So we got 441 people in here, guys, and this chat is moving crazy. And then I got this a-hole that's trying to get you to look at some dirty pictures. I'm getting a lot of those for some reason. He gets to get through, and I got to block him again. So I apologize. So if you think I'm missing something, I do apologize. I probably am, not on purpose. Thoughts on Gilbert, Chandler, Mesa, Litchfield, or Arizona? If you like the heat, Arizona is a pretty good place. For a popular state, it's affordable still. It's getting up there, but it's affordable. So it's just not my type of place. Almost any place in Arizona. I like green, I like rain, and I don't like the desert. Yeah, there's what is your third favorite state after Oregon and Pennsylvania? Probably Wisconsin, followed behind that by Colorado. Something about the Rockies, I love it. Something about the people in Wisconsin, I love them. And West Virginia is ranked up there too. Probably before Colorado, actually. Got to subscribers only to block the scammers. Yeah, so you can't leave a comment unless you've been subscribed to the channel. So this person actually subscribes to the channel, waits. I think I've got it. Maybe it's not on today's thing, but I should have done that actually. There's a setting where you can only comment if you're a subscriber. I don't know if I have it on there. West Virginia is awesome. About to move to Asheville, North Carolina. What are your thoughts on the area and the culture? Perfect. I love Asheville. It's got a little overdone. People moved there a little too much in the last 5, 6, 7 years. It's slowed down a little bit in the last year or two. But I like Asheville. Like the music scene, I like the beer scene. It's a great place to live. Could you do a video on best places for older single women? Offer lots to do, not just bars. We could. I am going to copy that and put it up there. Let's see if we can look into that. Thoughts on Sacramento, California? I don't like Sacramento. Never have. Dregs. Older single one. Best state to be a plumber. Ooh, that's a good question. I do not know. Are you a plumber, Vanessa? What are your thoughts on Lafayette, Louisiana? Stay away from it. Called Cougar Town. Remember that show? Ooh, missed one. What do you think the most overpriced market is? You're going to have to wait for that one, Justin. That is a video we just researched. Danica, thank you for the super sticker. You get one of those. Thoughts on Chicago suburbs? Stay north of the loop, and you probably have a good chance of living in a nice area. That's my opinion. Sioux Falls, great place. Monterey, California, I used to live there. Monterey, California, San Francisco are super overpriced. Absolutely, they are. San Francisco is one of the most overpriced places we have in the country right now. I would stay away from there. But I lived in Monterey. Actually, I didn't pay those prices because I was in the Army at Fort Ord, Monterey. So I loved Monterey, though. Poconos are great. What happens when the Colorado River dries up? So I don't think it'll ever dry up. It'll go. It won't end up. So it ends up in the Baja. It ends up in Mexico and dumps into the ocean there. Not all that water, hardly any water is getting to Mexico from the Colorado River these days. So it'll just move further and further up where it dries out. That's what'll happen. And eventually, I don't think it'll be in our lifetime, but if it keeps going at the rate we're going, eventually it will just be coming out of the Rockies as a river. And by the time it gets to, I don't know, Utah, or Arizona, it'll be a creek. Boom. Derek Ray, thank you for supporting the channel. Hi, Briggs. I'm currently visiting Racine, Wisconsin. Not a bad place to live. Can you share what you know about this unique city near Lake Michigan? So, they had a women's baseball team back in the 1940s. Give me 1 second. I will tell you what I know about them. I want to look up something real quick, though. want to make sure I have the right stats that I was going to tell you about. So, Racine is a decent place. They do have a little crime these days. They got a low cost of living and they got plenty of things to do. But their crime rate is a little high, but it's weird. And this is the stat I was looking for. Their crime rate is even with the national average, but if you look at their violent crime rate, it's actually 39% above the national average. Their property crime is about 10% below the national average. Their biggest problems are domestic abuse and drunken fights at bars. That's why they've got a bad crime rate. But in reality, it's not that bad. Don't hang out in bars and don't live with someone that likes to throw things at you while you're cooking dinner, and you should be okay. So I think it's a little deceptive when you look at their stats. Racine is a nice place to live, right there on the lake. Why not? And you're close enough to Milwaukee. That's what's really strange about Milwaukee. It's like the only place in Wisconsin that has legit crime, and their crime is nothing compared to Detroit, Chicago, Kansas City, Indianapolis, for that matter. Boom, 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 boom. Anything north of Woodland, California? Well, let's see. I want to make sure I'm looking at the right one. There we go. Yep, it is the one above Sacramento. Woodland Hills is in Southern California. I want to make sure you're not talking about that one. So, if you want to live around Sacramento, my suggestion is move into the hills towards Lake Tahoe. Truckee is way too expensive, but you have some really nice places up towards there into the hills. It's just down that valley. It just sucks. It gets too hot. There's too much crime. I mean, think of the cities that are in there. You got Sacramento, which has high crime, and it's got way too much homeless. I haven't been there in 2 years, but last time I was there, there was homeless everywhere. I hope they've cleaned it up. I haven't seen any stats on it. You got Stockton. Stockton's a nightmare. Modesto's a nightmare. Turtle Rock's a nightmare. Merced, it sucks. That whole valley there is not worth living in my opinion. I'm sure you're going to find some little areas where it's wonderful, but I wouldn't live in that part of California myself. Boom. Exactly. Sacramento's gotten really bad, and the heat. Oh God. When I was there, it was like August. Also, so, and I was taking the train from Chicago with my son back up to Oregon. So we had a layover in Sacramento for, I think, got there at 11 in the morning and didn't leave. It's like a 12-hour layover, and it sucked. I had to carry it's sweltering heat, and I had to carry a camera bag around with me all day because I'm not setting down my camera bag anywhere. And we should have got a hotel room and just slept for a few hours. But anyway, yeah, last time I was there, it wasn't great. Nick Johnson doesn't like Sacramento either. Nick Johnson's a smart dude. That's why. Um, so we call it turning off the hose. Sometimes you go through these things where YouTube's recommending you a lot and your channel's growing and there's a lot of views and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden it just dives. And me and Nick refer to it as turning off the hose. So they turned off the hose on us a couple days ago. The hobos you're talking about. So, Dreg's interesting story about that. I made a video about Los Angeles and I said, yeah, we used to go to the Forum when I was a kid and watch the Lakers and the Kings. Then I get some guy in the comment section going, this fool doesn't even know where the Kings play. They don't play in Los Angeles. He was talking about the Sacramento Kings, the basketball team, not knowing there's a hockey team called the Kings. I swear to God, the comment section just lit this poor dude up and he deleted his account. So what Northern California cities would I recommend? Well, which ones would I recommend? I would, if you could afford it, there's a lot of good ones outside of um, the San Francisco Bay Area. Like Santa Rosa's nice. Um, one I'm thinking of, and I can't think of it. So there's Eureka, which isn't the best, but it's not bad. There's Fortuna, which is nice. Uh, McKinleyville, those are all decent. And then you get off into into the woods a little bit, and you have other places that are worth it. But that whole area, let me tell you where you should be looking. If you look at Santa Rosa up to Redding to Eureka, anything in that area is probably going to be decent compared to the rest of California. That's where, if I had to move to California, that's where I'd move. Thoughts on Atlanta suburbs? They're not as bad as they used to be. So, I mean, sure, they've still got some that are, pretty bad with crimes and crime and stuff like that. But Atlanta's not as bad as it once was, I would say 5 or 10 years ago. Boom, 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 boom. Briggs, you would rather live in Flint or Detroit? Well, I could move to Detroit and get shot, or I could move to Flint and get shot or get lead poisoning. Hmm. I think I'd probably pick Detroit over the two. I just heard the Flint mayor. Did he get arrested for that whole Flint water thing? Michigan Supreme Court throws out Flint water charges against ex-governor. Okay, that's what I read. Former Governor Rick Snyder pleads the fifth in the Flint water civil case. But the Michigan Supreme Court threw it out. Court kills Flint water. Yeah, so it was their ex-governor, not their mayor. They basically tried to nail him for that. Which I think someone should pay a serious price for that whole fiasco, which was the Flint water crisis. But I don't know. Did Virginia Beach get named? It very possibly could be. There's so many different organizations that name places like that. Virginia Beach is a pretty safe place, so I would not doubt it. Recommendations for southern half of Oregon coast. 25-minute middle of the coast, Florence. Looks like a nice town. Any others that are noteworthy? So Brookings, I like Brookings. Not a lot of people dig Brookings, Oregon. I think it's perfectly fine. When you start looking at the northwest or the southwestern side of, is that what we're talking about? Southwestern side, is that what you said? Southeast, southern half of the Oregon. Okay, so when you start looking down there, just stay away from Grants Pass. Ashland's probably not the best. Klamath Fall kind of sucks. Klamath Falls, sorry. But you got Port Orford, which is decent. North Bend or Coos Bay, if you have your own job, don't go there expecting a job. Actually, don't go to any of these coastal towns in Oregon looking for a job. They don't have them. I've never been to Cave Junction, but I heard it's decent. So there's that. There's one other place, and I can't think of it right now. Oh, God, what was that one? I was just thinking about it, just in my head. I mean, Pistol River's there, and that's just like the coolest name for a town. Sounds like there was a gunfight there. Gold Beach, that's another one. Never been to Gold Beach. Well, I've driven through there going up the coast. I didn't even stop there. It looked decent, beautiful coast there. I've heard Gold Beach is nice too. Stay away from your coast. That's right. We'll all stay away. Less rain, I'm sure. Yeah, the more south you go, the better. Goonies. I went to Astoria not too long ago, and the owner of the Goonies house is now. It's like you can't get up there and take pictures, which I'm sure was annoying. Own this house, and there's people stopping by your house every single day taking pictures of you. It's hard to have your windows open and enjoying the outdoors through a window and without some guy out there with a camera taking pictures of you. So I'm sure that sucks. All right, guys, I'll tell you what. We're gonna do this about another 10 minutes, then I'm shutting it down. So 10 more minutes. Gold Coast is not. Yeah, that's I've heard. I've heard they're really nice. Riggs, do you do consulting? I missed that. Riggs, do you do consulting like Nick Johnson? I have not. I've had plenty of people ask me to do it, but it's just not something I do. I'd rather, I know he does. I know I know he charges for that. That's great. Um, I think where my channel's gonna go is I think it would serve you guys and real estate agents from an area if I did the shout outs for real estate agents. I think that's, in my opinion, would help more people, including the real estate agent and you guys, in case you do want to move to a place. Because if you're watching my videos, chances are some of you might be looking at it going, that might be the place I want to live. And one of the first things you need to do is contact a real estate agent to see if it's doable or if it's really someplace you want to move to. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to get into consulting and telling people where they should move other than through my videos. Do Americans like uncomfortable truths? I don't even know what that means. Do Americans like pretty harmful lies about more than uncomfortable truth? I don't know. Anyone want to answer that? Briggs, why does Houston look like it's such a good place to live in? Even though it's not, that has baffled me too. I guess like any other city, Detroit, Chicago, or whatever, Kansas City, Houston has some areas that, yeah, you shouldn't be living there. It's too bad. Albert, thank you for supporting the channel. Thoughts on how great Northern Virginia is? Thoughts on how great it is? Well, I'll tell you what, if you could afford it, it's a great place to live. I mean, a lot of people are living there. And I mean, a lot of people are living there that work in Washington, D.C., because living in Washington, D.C. kind of sucks. It's just very expensive. It's still beautiful. They've got nice homes there. They've got nice people. It's just expensive. But if you can afford it, one of the better places you can live. Thank you for supporting the channel, though. Briggs, what do you think the most dangerous place in Maryland besides Baltimore is? Ooh. I don't know offhand. Most dangerous place? Baltimore pretty much rules when it comes to Maryland being a bad place. I mean, that's what drives the bad reputation Maryland has. I mean, most people forget Baltimore is attached to a state called Maryland, but there's not much else. I'm sure if you look at some of the different cities in and around Baltimore, you could pick out one of those. But really, that whole Baltimore metro area is what kind of sinks the whole town. Bel Air, I mean, Easton, Cambridge, they're not that bad. I have heard of I think I've heard of the Clear Lake neighborhood in Houston. Have I? Clear Lake. I was thinking Channel View. Okay. I guess I have not. Then it doesn't ring a bell, and I'm looking at my thing here, and I don't see it anywhere on there. So yeah, I don't know. Boom. Here we go. Down to that one. Jay and yes, let me check out this. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Great content, Briggs. What's your take on Las Cruces, New Mexico? I'm wanting to move from Central California over to Las Cruces. I like the area. So I have another friend that was in the same unit as me and Wes from earlier. Carrie Fleming grew up there. He liked it growing up. I mean, he always said it was nice. He now lives in New Hampshire, but it's a nice place. Some parts, just like any place down that part of the country, you got some areas. It is inexpensive and it's got some nice families and it's almost a good place to raise a family, but it just gets really hot there. That's my take on it. Boom. But thank you for supporting the channel. Peter, what town in Portland metro area are the best? So you got a couple different towns that you could move to that are decent. If you got a lot of money in the metro area, you have Lake Oswego, which is where the Portland Trailblazers people live, and people from Nike that are executives, they live around Lake Oswego. That's the really rich area. You have Beaverton, which is where I live. That's kind of a nice upper middle class area, most of it. Those two are really good. You also have Milwaukee, which is okay. I like Milwaukee. There's one other one I'm thinking of, and I can't get it at the tip of my tongue. You got Hillsboro. Hillsboro is kind of like Beaverton, but a little bit worse. So I would pick Beaverton over that. You got Cedar Hills, which is part of Beaverton. That's decent. Stay out of Gresham. Troutdale, which is on the east side with Gresham of the Portland metro area. Troutdale and Gresham are right next to each other. Troutdale is nice. Gresham is not. Stay out of Gresham. After that, you got Clackamas, which is decent. Gladstone is okay. Oregon City, maybe. West Lynn is decent. West Lynn is where West Lynn is not a dangerous city at all, or town, or whatever you want to call it. It's actually very upper middle class. And there's a UFC fighter. He's now retired. Chael Sonnen. And one time I'm watching an interview and he's all, when I was growing up on the mean streets of West Lynn, Oregon, I just started laughing. This guy's an idiot. The mean streets. It's like saying the mean streets of downtown Disney. What do you think, Carol, a rural town where pig farms are huge? Yeah, I've seen those before. That's pretty gross. Race Fast 64. Thank you for supporting the channel. Best for disabled veterans. Well, San Antonio is probably the best city for veterans, and that kind of includes disabled veterans. So I would look at San Antonio. Almost any town in Texas is going to be a really good bet for veterans. That and parts of Colorado Springs, Boulder is probably really good, things like that. But thank you for supporting the channel. Mr. Bamboo, thank you for supporting the channel, Mr. Bamboo. Thoughts on South Dakota? Any mid-sized city for IT jobs? Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. So with South Dakota, their IT thing isn't strong, I wouldn't say. Sioux Falls is kind of nice. Or I'm sorry, that's not Sioux Falls. What am I thinking of? Oh, Spearfish, Deadwood. That's where a lot of people want to move to, but they really don't have much in the IT department. If you're working remotely, just about any place, as you know. But Sioux Falls, that's one of their bigger cities, and that's probably where you're going to find most of the IT jobs. And thank you for supporting the channel. Did I miss any there? Nope. Got them all. Sweet. All right, guys, I think we're going to wind this down because I'm getting punchy. Let's get this last one in here. What do we say? Briggs, Lynn, Texas, so safe, dangerous, Houston. I don't know. That one I don't know. Best place for remote workers? You're going to see that next Friday. So stay tuned for that one. All right, guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Maybe we'll do this again next Thursday. If you liked it, leave me a comment. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. I really appreciate it. And the wise woman, thank you very much for supporting the channel as well. I really appreciate that. Everybody have a great day. I'll see you next time we do this. And we've got a video coming out tomorrow on North Carolina's worst rural towns. All right, everyone. Have a great night.